Foreign in late October, my girlfriend Stacy and I took a road trip to Stowe, Vermont. We rented a cabin on the website Glamming Hub, only about a 20-minute ride from the village. It was on a nice hilltop with a view of the fall foliage, which was just the reason why we took this trip. We had the rental from Thursday night to Sunday. The cabin had a code lock system. The owner sent me the combination before we arrived, and it worked seamlessly. Stepping in, we looked around the place and it was nice and cozy. Literally, everything was made of wood, and it had this very old-fashioned country feel. It even had this distinct smell that just reminded us of, well, I guess a country log cabin. There was a bathroom, a small kitchen, 3 bedrooms, and a living room. It was plenty of space for the 2 of us. There were 2 TVs, one in the master bedroom and one in the living room. There was this other door that was locked, though, which we presumed led to the 3rd bedroom that was listed on the ad. Though we didn't know why it would be locked. It wasn't a big deal at all, and we presumed the owner had some personal stuff in there. Plus, he knew it would only be us 2. We put most of our luggage in the 2nd bedroom so that we could leave the master bedroom nice and neat. Since we arrived pretty late on Thursday, we went straight out to dinner in town. Then we walked around the village for a little bit before returning to the cabin. By then it was late, so we called it a night after a movie. The next day was a cloudy, chilly one. We went out to hike along some dirt trails in the woods near the cabin, which was very peaceful. Upon returning to the cabin, I showered and changed out of my hiking attire and into more appropriate attire for hitting a nice restaurant when I got out from the shower. Stacy told me she heard something in the bedroom with a locked door. She said it sounded like a radio or recording. I went up to the door and put my ear up on it to try and listen, but it was silent on the other side. I knocked on the door to the dismay of Stacy. She told me to stop because the idea of me knocking on the door trying to see if someone was in there freaked her out, to be honest. I slightly did it for that reason, just to tease her. While Stacy was in the shower, I was sitting in the living room, watching whatever I could find on the TV. That's when I thought just barely. I heard the slightest sound from inside that room. I muted the TV and went to put my ear over the door again. I did hear this slight speaking noise like it could be from a radio. I messaged and then called the host and told them about it. He said he wasn't sure why his wife would have locked the door, but that she may have left some of her stuff in there. He said as for the speaker noise, he'd have to ask his wife Stacy, and I went out for lunch after her shower. I didn't tell her about hearing the noise as well, because I didn't want to creep her out, and it was obvious to me the guy's wife just left an electronic device in there or something. We went to this restaurant on Main Street in town called Harrison's. After that, we just took a drive around the area, then stopped at a park and relaxed for a bit. That's when the host called me and said that his wife told him she didn't lock anything in there, so he's not sure why that is or what we could be hearing. He offered to come by and unlock the door and check it out, to which I said sure. So with that, we headed back to the house. It was about a 20-minute drive back when we got back. Stacy let herself in and collapsed on the couch. Tired from my gas eating and walking around, I listened into the room again. I still heard the same sounds from before. I said, "Hang on, I'll be right back," to Stacy as I walked outside. I didn't know why I didn't think of doing this sooner. I went to the window to the bedroom with a locked door. There were no curtains or anything blocking the view inside. As I stood on my tips, I was to look into the room. I was horrified. I saw this grossly skinny, tall, 20-something-year-old guy in a hood dancing slowly in the center of the room. He had what looked to be a small radio in his hand. He noticed me quickly at the window, and he stopped and looked at me smiling. I started screaming, Stacy's name, yelling, "Get out of the house." She met me at the door, panicked and confused. I told her, "Just get in the car." I grabbed our 2 bags, leaving whatever stray items behind, and threw them in the trunk, driving off. I then called the host and told him to call the cops, because someone was in the house an hour later while we were sitting in town. I got a call back from the host who said police arrived, and the 3rd bedroom was opened and no one was in there. However, they found multiple empty bags of chips under the bed, implying someone was in fact in there. We went back to collect our remaining belongings and worked out a refund between the host and the website. Of course, we didn't stay there. After that, we went to a nearby motel and stayed till Sunday, and we went home.